Tonight, I'll tell you all about a man's Easter miracle that has saved his life, then hear about an upcoming event that PRTM will be hosting. Hello, I'm Grayson Taylor, and welcome to the Monday Night Roar. We have your latest news, entertainment, sports, and more coming up on the Monday Night Roar. On Easter Sunday in Pakistan, at least 65 Christians were killed from an explosion. The Taliban faction claimed that Christians celebrating this holiday were their target. About 300 people were injured when the bomb went off in a parking area in the eastern city of Lahore. The country is mostly Muslim but has a small Christian community that accounts for less than 2% of the total population. The explosion occurred just outside of an exit gate for a ride for children. The majority of the dead were identified as women and children. This attack comes less than a week after ISIS terrorists bombed an airport and subway station in Brussels, killing 31 and injuring 270 people. Sunday, a 29-year-old male from North Charleston was charged with murder. According to the police, he fatally shot a woman and wounded a man during an argument. Davy Allen Ramsey was also charged with 1 count of attempted murder and possession of a weapon. He is currently being held at the Charleston County Jail. The American College of Gastroenterology has awarded more than $24,000 in grant money to Dr. Ransom Eek, a scientist in pediatrics research and academics with Clemson University and the Greenville Health System. Eek is using the grant money to study the link between secondhand smoke and EOE, a chronic allergic disease of the esophagus in children. According to Eek, the disease has similar triggering effects to asthma. Eek will work with Dr. Jonathan Markowitz and Joel Williams here at Clemson University, and also Eek's research mentor. A 39-year-old Brandon McNeely from Anderson, South Carolina received a special Easter miracle. He has battled cancer and congestive heart failure for years and was on a long waiting list for a heart donor. The family found a match and Brandon went into surgery this past Saturday in Charlotte, North Carolina. They won't be allowed to know the donor for at least another 6 months, but the family is overwhelmed with joy. Brandon is a husband and a stay-at-home dad. He is still under sedation and will remain in the hospital for several more days or weeks until the doctors are positive all is well. May 2nd through 3rd, PRTM will host its inaugural Faith-Based Youth Leaders Summit in Clemson University. The event will include workshop presentations to promote positive development in South Carolina's youth. One of the primary goals of the PRTM department is to assist local community agencies in providing quality programs and services to South Carolina youth and families. The summit allows the participants to select their skill-building workshops. For questions regarding registering, contact the summit at summit@clemson.edu. Clemson University's Center for Visual Arts, or CVA, will be displaying art by the visual arts students this spring. The second half of the semester has numerous exhibitions representing the work of both BFA and MFA students. These exhibits help the students to reflect on how far they have come and represents their creative achievements. Log on to the university's website to see all of the dates and times to support these students. Roger Liska is being recognized for the second time this month at the national level. The construction science and management professor and chair has received the construction industry's highest honor, the Chairman's Lifetime Achievement Award from the Associated Builders and Contractors Incorporated, or ABC. ABC is a national association representing more than 23,000 members. Liska has more than 30 years experience in teaching and administration at the post-secondary level and is recognized for his years of supporting the industry. Here's to Max with your weekly sports update.
This week in the sports world, March Madness, the Warriors and Spurs home win streak, the MLB goes to Cuba, and a Clemson Tiger has an ESPN Sports Center top 10 play. Who could have guessed it? We had a couple of upsets this week. My biggest upset of the first round was Middle Tennessee State over Michigan State. Denzel Valentine and the Spartans were sent home much earlier than expected. My biggest upset of the second round was Wisconsin over Xavier. The Badgers had a great season without Bo Ryan. With no major upsets in the third round, the fourth round made up for it, with 10-seed Syracuse knocking out the University of Virginia. My new favorite for this year's championship is UNC. South Carolina native Bryce Johnson will lead the Carolina into the Final Four. Go Heels! The mean streak continues. The Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs continue to plow through the competition on their home courts. With the Warriors currently at a 51-game home win streak and the Spurs having a 45-game win streak, the Warriors are continually being propelled by the silent assassin himself, Stephen Curry, averaging 30 points per game and just under 7 assists per game. The Spurs are continuing to have success with their fundamental team basketball style. Kawhi Leonard is leading the way for the Spurs, the torch now being passed to him from Tony Parker and Tim Duncan as the new leader of the Spurs. Recently, the MLB returned to Cuba for the first time in 17 years. The Rays beat the Cuban national team 4-1 in an historic exhibition game at a packed Estadio Latino Americano in Havana. Among the attendees were President Barack Obama, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, MLBPA Chief Tony Clark, Hall of Famer Dave Winfield, future Hall of Famer Derek Jeter, and Jackie Robinson's widow, Rachel Robinson. Cuban pitching legends Luis Tillon and Pedro Luis Lazo threw out the ceremony of first pitches. Clemson's Reed Rallman made an incredible leaping catch to rob a Presbyterian home run in the top of the fifth inning. The Tigers won the game last Tuesday by a final score of 8-4. The Tigers tallied 9 hits and improved their overall record to 17-6 and 5-4 in the ACC. Way to go, Tigers. That's all for this week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Max. Annie's Project is an educational retreat for women farmers that are hosted each year by the Clemson University Cooperative Extension. The program will be in state for the 5th year from May 4th to 7th at the Belle W. Baruch Institute of Coastal Ecology and Forest Science in Georgetown. Space is limited and registration is due by April 11th. The event includes educational presentations, networking opportunities, and also a tour of the Baruch Institute. Women from across the state attend, and for further information, contact Boyles at jbyles@clemson.edu. 5 alumni of Clemson University will be recognized by the Clemson Alumni Association on April 1st with the association's highest honor, the Distinguished Service Award. All of the recipients have shown huge support to Clemson and have contributed to the university in their own individual ways. They serve as great role models for current and future students. There is discussion of possible partnership between the Clemson University College of Charleston graduate program and Cuba. Clemson went to Havana and met with Cuban experts, public officials, and university faculty to preserve cultural heritage. As the university's website stated, using the university's expertise in architectural documentation, preservation and conservation, and its capabilities in 3D laser scanning and photogrammetry, Clemson scientists will identify conservation issues that face Trinidad and provide data heritage stakeholders can use to conserve and interpret this aspect of Cuba's architectural history. That's all for tonight, and thank you for joining us. Be sure to like our Clemson page and follow us on Twitter. Have a great evening, Clemson, and we'll see you next week on the Monday Night Roar.